Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome back to another episode of Underrated Gems with my co-host, radardeboard. I nailed it that time.
There you go.
Only took a little practice. I'm like,
Fourth time's the charm.
fourth? Don't be lying to people. That's not
Yeah,
how many
come on.
times it took. It only took 3.
Oh, I was talking about like the episodes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I did okay on the first 2 that we did because I had been recording on a regular basis. But the only things I've been doing new lately have been Found Footage Fridays, and Mike and I do those in bulk. So I record like once a month, and then I don't, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what day is it? What's the name of the show? Who am I? I don't know. A lot of questions. A lot of
Why am I
questions.
here?
It's weird. So
Speaking of things that are weird.
this is a weird one. A weird one. I really liked this one, though. This one was good. So the one we're talking today, I mentioned in the previous episode. So far, in case you haven't kept up with our playlist, we have done Galaxy of Terror, The Brain, and then last week we talked Humanoids from the Deep. And so this week we are talking the 1979 movie Tourist Trap.
Yeah.
Do you consider this one a cult classic too?
Oh yeah, this is probably
It is,
even
right?
more cult classic than Humanoids.
I had heard of this. I just hadn't
Yeah.
seen it. So again, this is another first watch for me. I've never seen this. But that was good because this is a weird ass movie. So we'll start where we normally start. Why do you think Tourist Trap is an underrated gem?
I feel so there is a lot of like weird movies that come out nowadays that you're like, what the hell? You know, and there's like
Yeah.
these weird like bins on tropes and everything.
Yeah.
Tourist Trap was walking so those other movies could run. Because this came out in 79. This is the year after Halloween.
I'm inclined to agree with that statement because this is a bananas movie. Like,
so weird. And like they're real like at the time, like even nowadays, there's not really anything like it. But audiences
they didn't remake this, right? Has this been remade?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's
I would
another
hope
movie
not.
called like The Tourist or something similar, but it's not a remake
Yeah.
of this, which I think I thought it was originally. Yeah, no, this is
just weird.
Yeah.
But like it's weird in such a good way, but it's a je ne sais quoi because you can't really you're like I don't like all when you talk about the different, and we will of course when we talk about the different pieces of it, it's gonna sound like we're just insane, but it works.
I'm trying to think of all. This is not my favorite of the list, but this is up there because again, first watch, I really liked this one. It was so weird. I could not stop being entertained by it though. Like because okay, so I'm gonna do like I've done previously, and I'm gonna read you the first note that I wrote.
Oh man, okay.
So my first note that I wrote is guy gets laughed at by dolls, arm stuck in door, impaled. Because it starts with this guy who's looking in this house, building, store, I don't know what it is, like some kind of building. And there's just these and because I watched this completely blind, I didn't watch a trailer, I didn't read the description. I was like, are the dolls like the bad guys? Like I didn't realize what I was right because I went into it because the dolls look like they're moving on their own. And they're just laughing at him. And so he's like, what the hell is going on? And then he gets stuck, he gets trapped in the room and he can't leave or go anywhere, and then he gets impaled.
It's just
that's the opening scene.
And this movie is in the late 70s, so it's like again, it's weird by today's standards, but back then I'm sure like there were people in the audience going like, what in the Sam hell am I walking into here?
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. People were probably utterly confused. I don't know how this was received as far as like its first release, but I do know
I don't know.
there are people that talk about this one semi regularly. But this one
Yeah.
was weird and I really liked it. This one was fun.
Yeah, it's I feel like this isn't one of those it's not a movie where you either love it or you hate it. It's you love it or you just don't really think about it, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's because it's like it's just that right amount of weird to attract, like, I guess us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, cause yeah, cause I mean, it goes like you meet these characters and they're like they meet with Mr. What's the name? I wrote it down. Slauson?
Yeah, Mr. Slauson, which is
Slauson.
what a name.
You know what it made me think of? The pickles. I know it's not with an S for the pickles, it's a C. It's Clausen, but it's like the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ones that like the stork for some reason. Anyway. Yeah, so like the kids they get stuck there, right? And he's like there, he's like, "Oh, I'll help or whatever." And right away, like because I think if you go into it blind, which I do recommend for anyone who's watching this episode that has not seen this movie, just don't learn anything else about it. Just
No.
watch it. Don't even finish this. Go watch it, then come back and watch the rest of it because when you meet him typically in these situations, right, especially in more like modern horror since like I don't know, post this time frame, but it's
Right.
like you meet someone who's there to help you when you're stranded, bad, right? Like Wolf Creek, I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a lot of movies where
Right.
like the people who are helping are not helping. But because this movie starts out with these laughing dolls that look like they're moving on their own, I didn't immediately pin him as a threat.
Well, yeah,
And then I
because
was like, "Okay, well, maybe they're all get stuck together and he knows the town, so maybe he'll help." I don't know. It's like this like abandoned little town or whatever. And anyway, so when I first met him, I was like, "Oh, okay." I swear to you, it didn't even occur to me like
like,
that
didn't
anything was
dawn.
off. Because
Right,
I'm just
well
thinking it's like haunted dolls or something. I don't know.
in what the I think it's Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors plays Mr. Slauson, and he
Okay.
does such a damn good job in
Oh,
this movie.
yes.
And it's so because he was in like Hollywood for a long time, but
I
it's
don't know who
just
that is. What else has he
it's
been in off the top of your head? Do you know?
I can't think. I
I'll
I
look him
know
up
he's been in a
after.
lot. I know like if you look up his IMDb, he was in a
He's been in,
lot.
like, everything. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
look
but
him up.
it's so wild because then all he just shows up in this movie, and I think it's perfect because I think by then his star had faded, but you his just popularity, but
Yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah.
his acting chops were still around, and it's kind of the
Yeah.
perfect like just symmetry for him. Like here's this guy who used to be a pretty big deal
It
now
is no
doing this kind
longer.
of yeah this kind of unfortunately underappreciated film at the time. Not many people are going to see it. And it's a
Yeah.
perfect thing because the movie is about tourist traps and these things that just were killed off
Yeah.
in a couple of years due to like the highway system coming in
Yep.
to America. So
Yeah.
it's like a perfect symmetry.
And it's a great story setup, I think, too,
Yeah.
considering when this did come out, it's like, okay, well, if they tried to do something like that now, it's like, well, everywhere is a highway, right? So it's not really
Yeah,
it wouldn't be as compelling. But I think for the time frame, this probably worked really good on the story side of things. Because he takes them up to his house and he's talking about like, is this when they see like I'm trying to remember. I know he tells them not to go outside, not to leave. And then they are like, okay, it's the girls by themselves. I'm trying to remember the order. I don't wanna say the wrong thing.
yeah. I was gonna
But I
say
think
that.
it's they go to the house and he's like, "You stay here, don't leave, and I will go do something." I don't know what he's gonna do, but or I don't remember what he's gonna go do. But this is kind of like when they don't listen to that because 'cause it'd be a very short movie if they just did the smart thing,
Right.
right? And they go out because they see, I think, a light in the other building or they see something in the other building, so they go, and then this is when it starts getting, like, kinda crazy. This is when they find, like, the mannequins in that room or dolls or whatever you wanna call them. They're very mannequin-esque because 'cause they're big, like
Definitely mannequins.
mannequins. And then so not the little weird dolls that we saw at the beginning. These are like different ones. But and then I was trying to look at my notes because there was something about scarf. When they get when sh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. Okay, so I think I watched this at my last job when I was at work, and I remember when the choke happened, I was like,
Yeah.
because it's like the mannequins or whatever are talking. Is that what it is? It's like they're
Yeah.
talking, just like the other ones or the dolls from the
Right.
beginning. And then the scarf thing happens, and you're just like, okay, like Eileen, that's who I was trying to. I knew I had the name written down. Eileen is who goes to search the house and finds trouble, is what I put in my notes.
Right.
And then I put
Trouble.
choked scarf.
Choke scarf.
Because that was, I thought that was kind of, I don't think it's meant to be funny, but it was kind of funny to me because I was like, this bitch, that's what, you know what? He told y'all to stay put. You don't want to listen. So,
Told
but
you.
yeah. And this is just like when you really start to try to, I was like really trying to figure out, I'm like, okay. I'm like, what is going on? Well, then it gets like, it kind of leans into being revealed that there is another person there who is supposedly doing this and hurting people. It's not actually the mannequins or the dolls. But initially, I didn't know what I was getting into. So I was like, oh my God, it's a
These killer
mannequin.
mannequin movie. And like the guy who's like up to the mischief. I don't like and this is wild, y'all, about this movie. I don't even know if I can call the bad guy the the killer. I don't know.
Yeah,
You don't know, which
you don't.
again, if you haven't watched it, stop right here and go watch it because it
Yeah.
still hasn't been spoiled for you.
No,
Like,
no, we
no.
haven't. That's true. It does have a big twist, and there is another element that I actually wrote a question mark because I was like, okay, I'm going to ask Radar if I got this right. So, but I'll get there in a second. But yeah, it has not been spoiled yet. Like you definitely can just go watch this, and you will not be missing out. Because, but I think I just was thinking this whole time. I was like, this is like a doll horror movie. Like I was not thinking it was gonna go in the directions that it did, and I love that about it. I think it adds to the weirdness,
So
because it
weird.
switches gears a couple of times. I liked that. I thought that it was cool it did that.
And like the one of the also most underrated parts, this movie that does not get talked about is The
Oh,
Mask. What?
yeah, I would agree with
Oh,
that.
oh, sorry. Yeah, The Mask is just like it's so again, this movie's so weird, and that mask coming in, that's kind of like I don't know. Did he like skin a mannequin to get that mask?
It's very weird. It really takes the cake on the weird. I agree because it doesn't even look like something you could have bought during that time frame. I mean, obviously masks have come a long way, right? But
Right.
it definitely looks like I don't yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it is just so
It's
interesting.
very creepy to me. I did not like I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a nice little like it was very but I found it to be very creepy because it looks like it did look like a mannequin face, right? So it looks like I don't know, it's very creepy. I didn't like it. I mean, I did like it, but I didn't like it. You know what I mean?
And this is surprising too. This is like very light on like there's no risque elements in this movie. It is
That's
there's
true.
no like there's no nudity. There's no really any gore in this movie,
It's pretty mild in that respect.
which
Yeah.
which is honestly surprising because one of the most unsettling scenes from like my mind is in this movie.
Yes, which
Yeah.
I feel like we touched on this while I was watching it because this was when I was like actively messaging while I was watching it. I don't remember if it's the one that I thought was the most, but is it the one where she's on the table and he does the oh
Yeah.
my that's like slow discomfort though. That scene took forever.
Yeah, and
Or it
it's
felt like it took forever.
right. It's like a kinda it's like a The Cask of Amontillado, like that short story from Edgar Allan Poe, but like
Yeah,
as a scene, you know? So it's just the gradual like and she's like whoever that chick is on the table is doing a great job of like sounding like she is
in agony.
scared. Yeah, agony is like
Scared.
scared to death, which
Yeah.
yes, that is what happens.
Yeah. Well, and because the stuff what's the stuff he's putting on her? It's like
I is it plaster Paris or something like that? I can't
it's
remember.
something, but essentially she like he covers like all of her whole face, and it's like she can't like, I don't know, it was very slow and deliberate, and it felt like that scene really like took its time getting you uncomfortable. It almost reminds me, I will say I do think this is better, and I think this was done better in this, but it kind of reminds me of like the remake of House of Wax.
Oh,
Right?
yeah,
Because they put the wax and then they go to take it off, and Jared whatever from Supernatural is like his skin comes off. It's not quite the
right.
same, but anyway, that's kind of what it made me feel. But I think that the closeness that we get of this and the angles we get of this is a really intense scene.
Yeah, and it's like it has no reason to be as intense as it is
No,
because it's not like it's anything wild happening, but, like,
it,
just the way they do it, it's just
it worked
fantastic.
really well. I think that's the most unsettling part of the whole movie, honestly. That scene really bothered me too. I was like, "Oh my god." And I'm telling you, it felt like it went on for hours. It just because it was so awkward and uncomfortable to watch. Like, you're like, "Can we just kill her first and then do this?" Like, that feels more
Come
humane.
on.
Like, this is too
Right.
much. Um,
Like,
but
just
yeah,
stab her in
no,
the normal way, come on.
just be a normal psychopath. Can we just Yeah, exactly. Um, and so then so Mr. Slauson tells the kids, the remainder of the kids. I say kids to everybody because I'm over 30. Um, the kids tells the kids, the young adults, the story about his twin brother. Is a twin? I think it's supposed to be his twin brother.
Yeah,
His twin brother sleeps with his wife, and he tells him like this whole little story, and now basically sets the story up like the twin brother is the one hurting people and doing things around this their little home or whatever. And but he tells him that he killed them both,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
And then so I don't know at what point. I do know at what point. It was towards the end. So I wrote this out for a little bit because I messaged you and I
Yeah,
was like saying stuff and I'm like, okay. And then there's that scene where Mr. Slauson tells that one girl, he's like, I'll be right back. And he goes inside and she's standing out there and she's looking around and she has some kind of weapon. Is it a gun? She might have a gun. She's holding something. And I'm thinking, I'm like, there's no brother. And that's when I messaged you and I was like, "There's no brother, is there?" Because I was like, "He done made this whole thing up." And what it is he's like falling apart because like you had mentioned, the highway came into play and took all
yeah,
the tourists away from his museum, all the things he was able to create. And because that's his whole thing is like it's not just the mannequins, it's like the stuff that he can make them do and all this kind of stuff.
right.
And so and he tells this like sad story and you're like, "Oh no." But then like for something about that scene when he disappeared, he went inside. I was like, they're the same fucking person. There ain't no way there's 2 people. And so and then he comes out, we see the guy, and then that's kinda when the whole reveal kinda happens. So,
Right.
I was buying it for a little while though, because 'cause I'm thinking, I'm like, "Okay, 79, right? 1979, twist-wise, my expectations were not super high." So I thought
Right.
that kinda worked in the favor, because then I was like, "Hold on a damn minute," and then I realized, okay, well, they're the same person. So,
Yeah. It's like it's not that great of a twist, but
I liked it.
that's alright because there's a second twist
Oh, yes.
that just makes up for it? Question mark?
I wonder if this is what I have a note on question mark. That I put I said that weird. You know what I meant? That I put a question mark on.
Right.
I wrote man slash my notes are all over the place. I wrote man slash brother telekinesis question mark or engineered abilities question mark. I wrote engineered abilities, but that's what I was thinking when I was watching this because I was like, is that what it's supposed to be, or did I just completely misread the room?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like he has
He has
telekinesis.
abilities.
Yeah,
Okay, alright,
which,
okay.
again, this movie is weird.
Yeah, yeah, I was like, because I don't think that I think going once you realize it's like a person doing it, I just assumed it was like some of the tricks type things, like he shows them when he first brings them in and he shows them all the little things that do stuff and move, and I was like, "Okay,
Right.
so it's not an ability thing, it's like an engineering thing, right?" Oh, that's why I wrote that, engineering
Okay.
abilities. I was like, "I don't know why I wrote that." That's why, because I was thinking, is it telekinesis or was it something that he was able to do as like from with an engineering background or something. So, but it's not, it's telekinesis, right? That's what
Yeah,
you got out of
yeah.
it too?
I
Okay.
mean, that's
Well,
what everyone I've talked to and myself, they get
gets
out of it
out
is
of it.
like,
Okay.
and it's again like this is the late 70s. I imagine this thought process of like someone going like, I want to make a slasher. Okay, well, Halloween did pretty good. That makes sense. I want it to be mannequin central to the plot. Okay, you're kind of losing us. This is weird.
But
The
wait,
killer has telekinesis. Okay, what? And then like in a soundtrack, I want every time the mannequins like move, I want there to be like this weird as they do stuff. And it's like, what the how did you pitch this?
I can't believe we've gone this long and we haven't talked about the noises that the mannequins make.
It's like it's in the soundtrack too. Like that is
Is it really?
the
Oh my
composer
God.
put it in there. Like
Oh, that's so funny.
cuz the first thing I ever heard of this movie,
Mhm.
I it was like my first big boy job out of college.
Okay.
My first big boy job.
Big
But
boy
it was
job.
like at some kind of like accounting firm being like, kind of working their accounts receivable stuff for them.
Okay.
And I
Sure.
was just listening to like a horror themed playlist. And this came like the sort of one of the themes from Tourist Trap came up, and like it's in there. Those and it's like those weird whatever they are.
It's so strange. I love it though. I really love it. I
It's it's great.
if there's so many moments in this and so many like things that happen that you're literally have most of the time you're watching it, you're just saying in your head, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? But you can't turn it off because you're having a good time. So you're like, I'll just accept the weirdness. No,
It's
I thought that I the sounds that they made was so bananas, but it was very
so weird.
entertaining. I thought it
So
was
weird.
very funny. Oh, it made my cheeks hurt. Yeah, so that kinda, like, takes us towards the end of the movie, which is Molly, which is the girl's name that was standing outside when I realized that the brother and the guy were the same. She kills him with an axe, Mr. Lawson,
Mr. Slauson.
and then I don't know if you're gonna ask this particular question, but my favorite scene of this movie is the end, when
Oh,
Molly gets in
really?
the car and drives off with her little mannequin friends. Like, what is this
What?
movie?
It is, and it's. I think it's so because that was the second like twist I was talking about because it's
Oh,
like, and it's open ended, which you know me, I love a good open
yeah, yeah,
ended,
yeah.
ambiguous ending. And this one, it's
Sure.
like it's your options are like, did Slauson turn everyone into mannequins,
Or
or
is she just crazy from
yeah, she's
everything she went through?
batshit insane. Yeah, is it like
I love
everything
that
just
part.
fake?
I love that part so much, though. It's like my favorite actually, it's my second favorite. My actually favorite scene is the scene where they're in the hallway with all of the mannequins.
Oh yeah,
That, like, kinda it takes a second, it's kind of a slow moving scene, but it's, like, kinda dim, and the walls are lined with mannequins, and they're trying to move through and not get, anyway. But, the picture I could picture this in my head so clearly. Her driving off with her little friends in the car, I was, like, deceased. I was like, "What is"
and she looks so happy too.
She's so happy. She's like, "I killed the bad guy. I got my friends still." She's like, "Good to go. I made it out."
It like I don't know if it ever inspired it, but I
Mhm.
have you ever seen it's the end of season 1 of Courage the Cowardly Dog with the great Fusili. He's like the alligator.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
And it reminds me of that because like at the end, Courage is just like going back to like trying to make things normal and he's just puppeting Eustace and Muriel. It's like it's that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exact same feel.
I picture what you're saying. Yeah, because you like you said, it's so open-ended. You don't really know like what she's thinking or experiencing, or does she think they're alive? Does she know they're not? Like, what is the situation?
What is that?
And I loved it. I thought that was it had such a crazy ass start. such an insane like journey, and then the ending was just like, what the like they really just I mean, I got
Just
I this is a fun movie. I like this weird ass movie.
yeah, I mean, and you got it. You know the person, the group, the team that came together to do this were also fucking weird. Like,
They
surely,
had
there's
there's
no
no
way.
way, right? Yeah, because this one was yeah, I would agree with you with this one. This one I would say is an underrated gem. As much I do hear a little bit about this one periodically, but given how wild and fun it is, I am surprised I don't hear more about it. So
Right.
I agree on this one too. This one was good. I loved this one. And then I think I mentioned it already like 30 times, but this was the first watch for me. I'd never seen this one. So
Nice. And so I guess last question from me.
yeah.
Where would you, and this is a bit of a doozy,
Oh
where
boy.
would you rank Mr. Slauson as like a killer? If you like had to kind of put him on a list of like a tier list or something. No, it's a tough one. Because he is something else.
Okay, like just as he is as a killer or like how entertaining he is as a killer because
Ooh, I mean, you could do both.
I think he would probably rank pretty high on like an A tier for me if it's based on like entertaining.
That's a
Because I
fair.
think this like sob story he tells, the way he talks about like what he's lost, and then he's just like nuts from
He's
loneliness and disappointment and life just being awful like it is, you know. I mean, as far as like efficiency, probably not very high, right? Because I mean, it takes them most of the movie to knock it down from four kids to one,
and it
and then
might not
Molly
have
gets
ever even been
away.
4 kids.
Yeah. So I think, but I thought he was really fun and entertaining. But I think maybe I don't know if that's like a testament to like him as a killer or as a bad guy or a villain, but definitely a testament to how they wrote his story because
Right.
it's so silly.
It is something else.
It's weird. I liked this one a lot. Like I was watching it thinking, okay, haunted dolls, right? And then I was like, okay, or not. And then
Or
I'm like,
wait.
this poor guy's living all up here alone and his little business ain't doing well. And I'm like, his brother did this with his wife. And then I'm like, he's the damn, okay. All right, Mr. Slauson,
All right, Mr. Slauson, I see you.
because I see you. And I was like, okay, so you know what? I'd be mad about my wife sleeping with somebody who wasn't real to, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be mad and you don't have a valid reason, just make one up. That's what seems to work
So
just
what,
fine.
that's what he did.
Oh my god, so good. No, I really like this one. I did. This one was fun.
For sure.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen Tourist Trap and we just spoiled everything for you, but you still want to watch
Oops.
it, it was streaming on one of the big ones I think when I watched it,
Oh,
but I don't
really?
remember which one, but I'm sure it's streaming because it's older, but it's just called Tourist Trap. It's from 79. Look it up
Do it. You won't
or
be
else.
disappointed.
You won't be. It's a super wild. Like if you're looking for something super deep and complex and super scary, this is probably not the movie for you. But I would argue this probably isn't the series for you either because
Well, yeah.
these movies are some of them have layers as we discussed previously, but in general, like these are more meant to be like these are some entertaining ones so far.
Yeah, there's only one movie out of this list that I would say has some actual true depth to it. Um,
Yeah, and that's going to be the one we're covering last, I think.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
the
So,
best for
but
last.
but so far of the ones we've done, there's only been one that I did not agree with you on being an underrated gem. So that's pretty good,
It's pretty solid.
considering I was very mean to you about your list starting out.
You
And
were
here I am talking about how much I like the movies. So you see?
That's 3 out of 4. That's a C. C's get degrees, guys.
Yeah, ask me how I know that first so far.
Uh-oh.
Well, it hasn't gotten me there yet. We'll see how the rest of it goes. But anyway, well, cool. Well, as always, Radar's links where you can find his content and his books will be in the description for this episode. Just check out the link below. And if you haven't checked out the playlist, go watch the playlist. We've covered so many, and we've got a total of 10. So we've got quite a few episodes left that we're working towards. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Thanks for hanging out with us on this episode of Underrated Gyms. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and Radar and I will see you in the next one.